Today's next lesson on verbs are on primary auxiliary verbs. We know auxiliary verbs because we were taught them as helping verbs. That is what auxiliary means, and since we're higher level, they want us to know a bigger word. But for all intents and purposes, your primary auxiliary verbs are your helping verbs. There are three primary auxiliary verbs. You have do, be, and have. Now, by themselves, they can be used as verbs, and therefore you would have your base S and ED and ING forms. You do with do. You have does, did or done, and doing. For be, you have been or being. And for have, you have, has, had, having. So if you're using them by themselves as a verb, that is what you would use the forms of. Now, you notice with be, there's a whole bunch more. The most commonly screwed up part of the English language is the form be. There are 5 forms of be: am, is, are, was, and were. Now, the reason why I say that it's screwed up is because of a thing called ebonics. And if you notice be, if you start it backwards, E, B, and you can go with O-N-I-C-S backwards because that is what ebonics is. It is backwards grammar. If you are speaking in a business situation, you are speaking inappropriately. Chances are you're not going to get the job. Then again, would you hire somebody if you were on trial for murder and didn't do it, and your lawyer says, "Your Honor, my client be innocent"? I don't think you would. I sure as heck won't. So therefore, let's learn the proper way of the 5 forms of be. Again, the 5 forms of be are am, is, are, was, and were. They are broken down on this chart as to how we would use them. Okay, you're going to break it down by whether your subject is singular or plural, and whether the action is occurring in the present tense or the past tense. Now, am is used for a singular form of the subject and in the present tense. And we usually use it for I. I am doing whatever. Okay? Is also singular and present, and it's used for pretty much everything else. Now, are is in the present tense, but we use it when the subject is plural. So if I said first person plural, we are walking to the store. Therefore, we and are agree. Guys, this is your subject and verb agreement. This is what you have problems with. This is what they test you on in the SAT. You need to get this. Am is the subject is singular. Is the subject is singular. Are is the subject is plural. And the action's happening now. Now, you can also use are for second person. Anytime you use you will use the plural form. Okay? You will use the plural form of be. So if I'm saying you are doing something at this moment, okay? Notice it's at this moment you are. Okay? Now, was is for a singular subject, but it's happening in the past. I was walking to school. That means I'm not doing it anymore. The final form of be is were. Were is sorry about that, guys. Were is plural. So if the subjects are it's plural and it's in the past, you would use were. We were walking to school. And again, anytime you use second person, you use the plural form. Okay, so if I'm talking about having a conversation with somebody and we're talking about the past, remember when remember when you were skipping school or stuff like that. Or remember when you were in the 9th grade. All right, stuff like that. That is what you use were for when you're using the second person. Okay? Guys, it is extremely important that you know this chart and you know how to apply it. Now, going over to the other side of the board, I am going to shut this off and then I will start up the lecture again. It'll be sideways.